The Lost Manuscripts of Timbuktu. Dark screen. Whispering sound of pages turning. Slowly, a flickering candle reveals a stack of ancient manuscripts. What if I told you that hidden in the sand of Sahara lies a treasure greater than gold? A treasure that proves Africa was once the heartbeat of global knowledge, centuries before colonialism? And what if I told you that this treasure, thousands of ancient manuscripts, was nearly lost forever, swallowed by fire, war, and ignorance? Pause, shift tone slightly lighter. Now, I know what you're thinking. Manuscripts? I barely finished my last WhatsApp conversation. But trust me, this story might just change how you see Africa and yourself. In the heart of Mali, in a city called Timbuktu, a place many thought was only a myth, scholars once wrote about astronomy, medicine, mathematics, philosophy, law, and even love. While Europe was deep in the so-called Dark Ages, African scholars debated the cosmos, calculated the movement of stars, and discussed human rights. These manuscripts, written in Arabic, Ajami, and local languages, are proof that Africa was never in darkness. Instead, it was blazing with light. But here's the painful truth. Wars, invasions, and neglect nearly wiped out this legacy. Imagine thousands of years of wisdom turn to ash in seconds. Imagine knowledge so rare, so fragile, that a single drop of water could erase it forever. Let me take you back to the golden age of Timbuktu, where Africa's future was being written on paper. The golden age of Timbuktu. Timbuktu wasn't just a desert city. It was Africa's Silicon Valley, Harvard, and Google all rolled into one. Students traveled from across the continent to study there. Scholars wrote manuscripts on everything: mathematics, law, medicine, astronomy, even the ethics of leadership. Think about it. While Europe was fighting wars over kings and castles, African scholars were asking, what is the role of justice in society? And before you imagine dusty old men scribbling in caves, picture this. A young scholar, maybe your age, hunched over a manuscript, probably thinking, why didn't I just become a farmer like my uncle? At least goats don't give homework. The fall, threat of loss. But glory attracts danger. In the 16th century, Moroccan invaders stormed Timbuktu, seizing manuscripts, burning libraries. Later, colonialism reduced African history to a footnote. By the 20th century, people thought Timbuktu's legacy was a myth. And then in 2012, during Mali's civil war, extremists set fire to libraries. Centuries of knowledge turned into black smoke that vanished into the desert sky. It was almost the end. But wait, here's a twist. What if I told you, in the middle of all this chaos, ordinary people, farmers, teachers, families, risked their lives to smuggle these manuscripts to safety? What if Timbuktu's wisdom survived? The heroes of preservation. When extremists advanced, families had manuscripts under their clothes, inside rice sacks, even buried them under sand. Over 350,000 manuscripts were secretly transported to Bamako, away from destruction. These weren't rich collectors. These were everyday Africans, risking everything for knowledge they knew was priceless. Think about that. They risked their lives, not for money, not for fame, but for wisdom. The lost manuscripts of Timbuktu are not just about the past. They are about you. They are proof that Africa has always been a continent of thinkers, creators, dreamers, and innovators. Too often, we are told that Africa's story began with slavery, with colonialism, with struggle. But these manuscripts shout a different truth. Africa's story began with brilliance, with leadership, with knowledge that once guided the world. So next time someone tells you Africa has no history, just ask them, really? You think my ancestors were sitting in the desert just waiting for Wi-Fi? But here's the challenge. Manuscripts cannot save themselves. Even today, they face threats: climate change, poor preservation, lack of funding. The question is, will we allow Africa's wisdom to fade again, or will we rise and protect it? Pause. Strong tone. Because if we lose them this time, we won't just lose manuscripts. We'll lose proof of who we are. The Lost Manuscripts of Timbuktu are not just pages of history. They are a mirror. And when you look into that mirror, you see a truth the world tried to erase. Africa has always been a land of greatness. And maybe, just maybe, if we honor that wisdom, we can write the next golden chapter of our story. Together, fade out with sound of pages turning, closing softly.